You ever found someone and said, I actually do care about you. I want to protect this relationship. How do I protect that relationship? Well, look no further. This is the firm and fair way to ensure that you get a fair shot at love because we all deserve that, right? But before we get into that, give me the three freebies: like, share, and subscribe. I'm your host for the Firm and Fair podcast, The Spencer Perspective, and we have work to do. Let's get to it. Yeah, this is how you're going to be able to protect your relationship. Everything that I'm going to speak to you about is what I'm doing in my current connection as of right now, too. So just know that you can take this with a grain of salt. This is the Spencer Perspective, but I think that any man worth their salt will be requiring this. So you got a good relationship. How do you protect it? Well, what I'm about to speak to you about is things that the man and the woman should be doing. So it isn't like, hey, do as I say, not as I do. Um, you know, Here we are, equally worth our time. Now, first and foremost, you don't discuss your relationship with anyone else. You just don't. If for some reason you're discussing your relationship, it's because you're telling them how awesome your partner is, how much you love them, how much you value the relationship, how healthy this is overall, things like that. Only good words should be coming out of your mouth for what it's worth. So there should be never a bad word about your partner to someone else. That's an easy way to protect your relationship, okay? Now, just to let you know, this is all off the fly. I don't have a list, actually pre-recorded in my head. These are just the idea of like what I'm going to do to protect my relationship. Um, be ready to run into an issue that challenges the validity of your relationship and whether you actually want it or not. If you're like me, you've been through a few relationships where you're thinking, hey, I'm going to be together forever with this person, forever. And then 2 weeks later, pow, done. How do you avoid that happening in the first place? Did you have that conversation with your partner? Did you let them know that you're not going to break up with them, no matter how mad you get, no matter how upset you get? Or do you break up every single time an issue goes wrong like I did or like I used to? I did that a lot. Whenever something happened that I knew would challenge the relationship, instead of speaking about it, I would just say, you know what, it's probably not worth my time. And I would just, probably step off. Sometimes you got to fight that good fight with that person. Maybe they don't know any better. You don't know how, you may have stronger relationship muscles than the person that you're with. Yeah, there are muscles when it comes to a relationship. And depending on, your appetite for relationships, your desire for relationships, or to be with someone, you know that what it takes to make it work. But will you find someone else that wants to make it work equally to that extent with you? Are you going to make that happen? And that's always going to be the question. Always going to be the question because life comes at you fast. And problems, they come at you faster. Just know that there's always going to be some kind of upset that's going to challenge your relationship. You're going to argue. You're going to disagree. You're going to, the same things you'll come to love about this person will cause you to potentially hate them. But you got to understand that behind that hate, there's still love. So there's still some appreciation to a certain extent. That's the second way. Be ready for the bad times. Can you actually stand the rain? Will you? Anything shy of someone actually cheating on the other person or breaking the law or making you feel stupid or making you feel lesser than an individual, anything short of that should not be grounds for the end of your relationship. Of course, you got to have some rules and boundaries. Anything worth having has to have its rules and limitations behind it, right? I guess that's the reason why we have a limited time when it comes to living. Hey, that's another conversation for another day. But yeah, that's another way. So just be ready for those moments and be ready to take them head on. Another way, be grateful and express the love you have for that person as much as you can. I have a ritual in my relationship. I say 3 words to her every single day. I text them, but I also say them. But I say, I choose you, Samantha. Or, I choose you, baby doll. I'm trying to be as intentional as possible. Letting her know I'm with you every day. This is my conscious decision. I am a part of this relationship every day. Every day I'm going to be a part of this relationship because I have to continuously say that. That's the marker. That's how you kind of build that routine, that continuity, that consistency. Consistency goes a long way. I say those words to her every day. I choose you. And I make sure she says them to me, that she chooses me. It's not because you need reassurance. It's to let that person know. Not only did I choose you yesterday, I'm choosing you today. And guess what? I'm choosing you tomorrow. Every single day I'm going to desire you. You've seen it happen before. Oh, I've lost attraction to him, or I lost attraction to her, or things just changed. She seemed far away from the relationship. You're supposed to be having these conversations with your partner when things go to the right or things go to the wrong. You're still supposed to have conversations, either or, because you're prepared for those bad times. So did you really prepare to be with this person for a long time? Some people are in it for the long haul. You got to be in it for the long haul. Why be with someone for a short amount of time? And we already have a short amount of time on this blue ball we call Earth. So don't be sitting here wasting your time when it comes to that. I think it would behoove you to choose someone you can have some kind of consistency with, that knows you, you know them, because literally and figuratively, they will be the closest person to you in your life. And if you don't want them to be that person, I'm sorry to say, but you might have come to the realization that person might not be for you. I'll say that again one more time. If you're not with someone who you want to see every single day and be with almost every single waking minute, you don't want that person to be the closest person to you in your life. You want them to be number 4, 5, 6, or 7 in your life. I'm sorry, but intimacy comes with this price. How are you going to share someone's flesh, but not have them share in the intimacies of your life to be your true partner? Why would you treat them like they're lesser than a pet? I get it, to a certain extent, on a social basis, sometimes you got to pick your partner, sometimes you got to pick family, sometimes you got to pick friends. No judgment there. You do what you have to do for yourself. But how are you going to enjoy the flesh of one person, but not have them be as close to being in your life as possible? That person should be riding on your hip. That's your life partner. And if you don't think of them that way, you're with the wrong person. And you're wasting their time, you're wasting your time. Trust me, you want to get to your happily ever forever. Happily after, happily ever after. Happily ever after, yeah. Happily forever after. Yeah. Something like that. You want to find your person. Look, take these videos with a grain of salt, but try it out. You might be pleasantly surprised with the results. Be in that relationship. Choose that person every single day. So let's go over this again. Now that you found love, what are you going to do with it? Here's a few ways to protect your relationship. Don't talk to no one else about your relationship. How they doing? Good. They chilling? Yeah. Everything all right? Yeah, man. Everything going wrong? Yo, your relationship could be on fire. Someone asks you, is something wrong? You got something you want to get off your chest? No. You got to discuss that with your partner. You're the ones that got to deal with the relationship. Long dead are the days where you take advice from other people, especially because they don't have to deal with the ramifications of the choices you make. Only you will. So stop taking advice from other people that causes you to miss out on good relationships. It's foolish. You got to choose for yourself. Here's another way. Be ready for a bad time in your relationship. Be ready for that argument to come. If you're thinking about the happy times and the novelty of the relationship, and you're not ready for the bad times, and you haven't had that conversation with your partner, You might be with the wrong person. You just might be. Another way, time spent, quality time and quantity of time, they gotta go up together. They gotta scale up together for what it's worth. For what it's worth, if you're not thinking about this person a lot, you're not looking to spend a lot of time with them, you're not worried about whether they have what they need, you might not be with the right person. Those are the kind of feelings that you want to elicit, the both of you when you're together. Compassion, actual care. Another way to protect your relationship is be forgiving. Be forgiving. We all make mistakes. Short of someone cheating, short of someone disrespecting family, friends, making you feel lesser than, stealing from you, violating you in any kind of way, short of that, people make mistakes all the time. Things go wrong. Be more forgiving and understand that something led you to want to be with this person in the first place. And guess what? Within the confines of your relationship, you both can build your potential together to make the relationship even stronger so that 20 years later, you're both stronger versions of yourselves that you met. And you both get to share in that love with each other. Now that you found love, what are you going to do with it? Me? I found it. I choose you, baby doll. And you have to be intentional. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be, you got to show up every single day. A relationship is a love job, but it's going to be your best job. It's the only thing you get to pick where you get to scale up on the amount of happiness that you want from it. The job can only give you but so much happiness. The family and friends can only give you but so much happiness, but the person you choose to share yourself with in that way, that's something that both of you can control and build together. It's a beautiful process when you're both on the same page. You're going to get there. I'm getting there. We all will. This is the Firm and Fair podcast. I'm your host, The Spencer Perspective, and I'm out.